Welcome everybody to a new Juju live session by yours truly, Joana Saahirah. This one is going to be about answering the most frequent and I think interesting questions around the hot topic of cosmetic surgery and aesthetic standards in Egyptian dance, specifically in professional Egyptian dance, because there is a huge difference between practicing Egyptian dance for yourself, for fun as an amateur, and practicing it as a professional performer, a professional teacher, someone who shows up in public, someone who is judged, someone who is surrounded by expectations and standards of quality and certain rules, said and unsaid, that really define at a certain extent the success that you are going to have as a dancer. Okay, so let's launch this theme. I am going to invite you as usual to drop your questions in the comments to this live session. I'm also going to ask you to share your perspective. What do you think about this theme? Is it relevant? Is it not? Does it affect you personally or not? I am going to resume to reading the questions I have selected, questions sent by students from all over the world, from different venues, from different places. And I am going to answer these questions coming from my perspective and my experience. Cheers to that. It's a hot day, so I have fresh water, not tea, and not coffee as usual. Now, before I start reading the questions I have selected for this Juju live session, let me make an interesting note. My attention was called to a post shared by someone I never heard about, a lady called Cori Zamora, who shared the news of this Juju live session, mentioning, seriously, what the fuck? That was her prologue to the Juju live session that we are now starting. I did send a nice, sweet message to this sweet lady who did not answer. She suddenly removed the post, which indicates not the best intention, because when you stand by what you do, when you stand by what you say, you are not afraid from it. You know, when you say something and you believe in it, you stand by it. You don't run away like a mouse. So this is not a good sign. But anyway, I would like to start this session grabbing this comment, which I thought very interesting. Okay, seriously, what the fuck? Okay, so I knew that when I launched this theme, it would rise a certain polemic and it would trigger a lot of people for different reasons. Okay, usually the ones who are triggered are the ones who are not very well solved in their own skin. So women and men, dancers and non-dancers, who are not in peace with themselves. Okay, because this is a sensitive theme. It is, in my opinion, a very personal theme. There are no rules for everybody as far as I'm concerned. And it is important to discuss. When someone reacts to it in such a negative, biased way, it means that person is not okay. All right, something is not right with that woman. So my compassion and all my love to Cori Zamora. Thank you for calling my attention to this. And my answer to your post, seriously, what the fuck? Yes, seriously, and a lot of what the fucks, a lot. Because this is a theme that changes people's lives. It is a theme that will be dropped at a dancer's lap sooner or later if she or he decides to go professional. I started this Juju live session mentioning there is a huge difference between being an amateur dancer and being a professional dancer. As an amateur dancer, you may not be exposed to a lot of pressures, okay? Pressure on how you look, how you present yourself, how you dance, how talented you are, or how talented you're not, how much education you have, how communicative, how charismatic you are. All of those standards that are expected from a professional dancer don't necessarily affect an amateur dancer. So what I'm about to share with you and the questions I'm going to share with you right here were sent by dancers who perform professionally. Okay, I don't mean that amateur dancers don't have issues with their image or issues with their body or even with growing older. They do have dancers and non-dancers, okay, we all have. But what I'm about to share with you affects particularly dancers who work professionally, especially performers more than teachers. Okay, so if you are in this field and if you have ever experienced pressure to look a certain way, to modify your body, modify your face in order to be accepted and in order to succeed, drop a comment in the comment section below this live Juju session. Now, let me see who we have watching us. And while I do that, let me present myself in case you don't know me yet. My name is Joana Saahirah. You have my name where? Here, there. Aho, aho. I'm a world-renowned Oriental dancer, teacher, choreographer, and author. And I'm also the creator of the pioneering Joana Saahirah's World and Joana Saahirah's online dance school, delivering authentic Egyptian dance, personal discovery, and empowerment. For more information about our platform and school, check the links I am going to share in the comments below this video after we are done with the live session. Now that we got that out of the way, let's see who we have. Hi, Tamara. Hi, Maureen. Tamara, share your feedback on this subject. I would love to know if you've ever felt the pressure to look a certain way, to modify yourself in a certain way in order to succeed, in order to fit the mold in the field of Egyptian dance. The same thing for Maureen. Feel welcome to share your experience. And Tamara says it is important, it is an important theme. For me, it followed my professional career. My troop members all were impacted by it. I have many stories. Okay, all right. All right, I imagine you did. So when someone finds surprise in this theme, any dancer who is shocked by the theme or wonders, why would I bring it to the table, is certainly not a professional dancer, or it has never, she or he has never worked in a professional field within Egyptian dance. Because if you have, chances are you have been a subject of pressure to look a certain way. Okay, now let's go to the questions because I have selected the best ones. These are really good. And I hope the questions and the answers I'm going to give you open new doors of understanding of what Egyptian dance stands for, what Oriental dancers should focus on. And obviously, again, guys, what I'm going to give you is my perspective. It is my vision. It is not the final word. It is not the word of God. So everybody has the right to their own opinion and to their own position, okay? I'm only going to share mine because it's the only one I can share, okay? What are the aesthetic standards for Oriental dancers? This is an introduction question, and it's one that I'm usually asked for dancers who are transitioning from an advanced level dancer to a professional dancer. That happens very often in my private coaching. I have a lot of dancers who want to become professionals, professional performers, teachers, authors, and they usually come to me for private coaching in that transition. And this is a question almost everybody, if not everybody, throws at me sooner or later. After we have focused on the dance and all the things I do with dancers in preparation to become a professional dancer, they ask me this question: what are the aesthetic standards for Oriental dancers? And my answer, to be quite honest, is divided into two parts, okay? First of all, there are standards imposed by society, and then there are personal standards, okay? So what do I mean by this? In Egypt, for instance, where I started my career, I knew that the aesthetic standard corresponded to a plastic image of a woman who had plastic surgery, especially boobs and nose and mouth and buttocks, okay? I knew that I was living in a society, in a country, and I'm speaking about Egypt, I could speak about Lebanon as well, Dubai, all this center of Egyptian dance, this market is very much oriented to a specific standard, beauty standard that is quite plastic. if you go to the West, you also have a standard, right? Dancers are supposed to look a certain way, feet and with nice breasts and the long hair. And there are specific differences from country to country and culture to culture. But in a general way, you will find a certain expectation of how dancers should look, independently of the country where you are. Okay? That is what is imposed from the outside. Then you have your own personal standards of beauty. And in my experience, those are the most important, because in the end, you have to deal with yourself and you're the one who has to like what you see, right? I don't know if you are used to watching yourself perform. If you are not, I suggest that you start watching yourself, okay, and be objective and look at it from the outside with the eyes of an observant, okay, and ask yourself, what do I find beautiful, what works for me aesthetically? And remember that dance has an aesthetic side, but dance, and Egyptian dance specifically, it's not about how you look. It's really about, in the end of the day, in the long term, it's about how talented you are as a dancer, because you can be the most beautiful dancer in the world, okay? You may be successful commercially because you will have opportunities for, if I speak about Egypt, movies and television series, especially if you have cosmetic surgery, we'll get there. But it doesn't mean you will be a respected dancer. Respect as an Oriental dancer is earned through talent, professionalism, delivering the goodies. It is not about how you look. So it is also important to understand that it doesn't matter how society thinks you must look or how you think you must look as a dancer. In the end of the day, what makes a successful dancer, in the sense of people respecting you, remembering you, having you as a reference, is your dance. It's not the way you look. It's not the color of your hair or the length of your hair, or if your skin is stretched or wrinkled. That's not what builds a legacy, a name. What builds a legacy and the name is the quality of the dance you deliver. You are not a model and you're not a doll. You are a dancer. So you should be evaluated, and in the end, you will be evaluated for the quality of your dance. And I don't mean every once in a while. I don't mean in one day when you are inspired. I mean again and again and again, consistently, year after year after year after year. Okay? And that's the real demand. That's the real job of a dancer. Okay? How you look can open certain doors. It can, but it can also close others, and it does not guarantee the respect that you probably want and the respect that I believe every professional dancer deserves. Okay? So when we think about the aesthetic standards for Oriental dancers, I would propose that you think more about your standard. When you look at yourself dancing, what do you consider beautiful, right? Because for me, for instance, it's about functionality. I'm a dancer at heart, okay? I started dancing at 3 years old. I've studied dance all my life. So when I look at myself or at any other dancer, I have the eagle eyes of a dancer, the eagle eyes of a pro, meaning I search for efficiency. I'm not seeing the size of your thighs or how your face looks or what is the color of your skin. I'm thinking about, is this interesting dance wise? This is what I'm seeing, right? And this is the professional vision that will give you the real standard for success in the long term. Once again, you can be well known, but being well known does not mean respected. We have many examples of dancers in Egypt, for instance, who do cabarets and do nightclubs and do cinema and television, okay? Completely, I call them turbinated. Turbinated is full of plastic surgeries, completely altered, okay? Like plastic dolls. They are very well known. They are not respected as dancers. There is a big difference between being well known, being famous for something, whatever, and being respected as a dancer. Huge difference, huge. And I do believe that you should be working for respect and appreciation, not for empty fame. Okay? Now, before I read the next question, let me see what we have here. Every once in a while, I'm going to check your comments, guys, because I love to know what is your experience and what you think about. Hi. Hello, Yara. Hi, honey. Hi, Jamila. Mhm. Tamara says, I have an age-old question. What place do aging dancers have in the professional world? Okay, Tamara, that's an excellent question. I actually have a similar question here selected, so I'm gonna answer it, okay? Give me a little bit and I'm gonna answer it. So, what's next? What's next? Is cosmetic surgery a recurrent theme in professional Egyptian dance? Is cosmetic surgery a recurrent theme in professional Egyptian dance? You want me to be honest or you want me to bullshit you? I think you want me to be honest because that's what you expect from me, right? So, the theme of cosmetic surgery is a recurrent theme in the field of Egyptian dance, especially in Egypt, especially in Arabic and North African countries. I've already mentioned that in Egypt, for instance, and in Lebanon, which are the countries I know the best because I started working in Lebanon. A lot of you don't know that, but my first dance contract before I started dancing in Egypt was in Lebanon, in Beirut. And then almost a decade of work and life in Egypt. I also went to Oman and other countries, but Lebanon and Egypt were the ones where I spent the most time. And I do remember that on my premiere, okay, in Beirut, I was so excited and I had my first orchestra, all Lebanese, very professional. And the press, the news, the next day came out and everybody was shocked because some journalists were calling me fat and they were telling in the newspapers that I should get plastic surgery. They were suggesting my nose. I don't know what's wrong with my nose, but something is wrong with my nose, my mouth, and my breasts. That I should have bigger breasts, silicone breasts, that I should change my mouth. I also don't know what's wrong with my mouth. I love my mouth, but they thought it would be something different. It should be something different. And my nose. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit shaken. I was very, very young. I was 23, 24, around that. I was very shocked because I thought, okay, I must be a terrible dancer if all they say about me is she needs to lose weight. And by the way, I was so skinny back then. Oh my God, I don't know what weight, but anyway, she needs to lose weight and she needs to be operated, breasts and nose and mouth. I say, okay, I must be a terrible dancer because they don't even speak about my dance, and what the hell? Why should I have plastic surgery? And this was a theme that I personally met. It came to me several times throughout my career. Not in the Western world. I never had someone outside of Egypt or outside of Lebanon telling me you need plastic surgery. Okay. I did have many people in several occasions throughout my career in Egypt, for instance, telling me, I think you should have plastic surgery. Everybody does. Why don't you have? You're better than everybody. I said, but why should I have? Because everybody does. I mean, that's stupid, right? Why should I move my body? Why should I harm my health to fit a standard that I don't even like? It didn't make sense for me. So I handled it like one more pressure amongst many other pressures that I was receiving from the environment of a professional Oriental dancer. For me, it was just one more headache. That every once in a while someone would come to me and tell me. Curiously enough, when I received proposals for cinema, and I received a few, there was none of this talk. I don't know why. Maybe they thought I had the good face for cinema. I don't know. Or a good body for cinema. I don't know. But in terms of dance performances, I have heard recurrently, why don't you operate yourself? And the same way I've heard it, many other dancers have heard it. And most dancers, in fact, in those countries, in Egypt and Lebanon, they are operated. They have cosmetic surgery. I am not judging, guys. Look, this is not about judging. It is not my way of doing things, okay? I do think that everyone is the owner of their own body. So if you want to alterate your body, mutilate your body, do whatever you want with your body, it's not me who's going to tell you don't do it or it's wrong, because it's your body. You have the freedom to do whatever you want with it. What annoys me is that they instill the idea in your head that if you don't have it, you will never be successful. And that is not true. I'm a proof of it. Okay. I'm a proof of it. It is not, it's simply not true. All right. It does help if you fit the mold. Then again, because people search for a certain image. If you fit that image, it's easier to hire you. Okay. You're more accepted and faster. It is true. But if you are not, and if you are an excellent dancer, from my experience, talent and professionalism beats looks any time of the day in Egypt and pretty much everywhere. Okay. Let me see once again, drop an eye here on the comments because I don't want to leave you hanging. Maureen says, my question, does having darker skin impact changes of being hired? Yes, Maureen, it does. And now so many people are gonna hate me again. Why, Joana? Why you say those things? Guys, I tell you what I know to be truth. If you have a different experience, let me know. I would love to know what is your experience. But from my experience, having a darker skin changes your potential, changes the way people see you and the way they hire you or not. In Egypt, having a fair skin is a sign of beauty, as it is in most countries of the world. Shall we pretend that we live in a racism free society? We can pretend. But if we pretend, we don't change. Okay? I am not sure how people hire dancers in the West, but I have heard of many dancers of color, for instance, or Asian dancers who struggle because of their looks, because of the color of their skin, or because they belong clearly to a different ethnic group. I have heard of these stories. And in Egypt specifically, I am pretty sure, okay, this is not a possibility. I'm sure that the darker you are, the more difficulty you have in being hired. Do I like this? No, I hate it. I think this is everything that is wrong with our society. Okay, it's racism, it is ignorance, it is a small minded way of doing things, but it is what it is. And if we don't know, if we don't acknowledge what is, we cannot change it for the better. Okay. So, Maureen, it does affect the color of your skin, affects. Okay. It comes to my mind, Mona Said. Mona Said, a dancer all of you know, an iconic Oriental dancer, one of the best, really iconic. Okay. She did most of her career in London because she did not have much success in Egypt. Can you believe that? And she was super talented, absolutely fierce. Why she did not have more success and public acceptance in Egypt? Because she was darker. Asmaraneya, yani. She was darker. And I don't mean African American or African. Actually, Egyptians are African, by the way, but African in the sense of a darker, blacker skin. I mean, just a little bit darker than the regular Egyptian woman, okay? So she was a little bit darker. She realized that she would not have the level of acceptance and success in Egypt. So she moved to London and she did a relatively successful career. But in my opinion, Mona Said is an example of how race and the color of the skin can limit a dancer's success, because she was and still is one of the most talented dancers in this field. Okay. So unfortunately, Maureen, my answer is yes. Okay. How do you change that? First of all, we stand by each other, we fight racism, and we support talent. We do not support a certain look or a certain race or a certain age or a certain kind of whatever. We must support talent. Period. The most talented dancer in the room should get the job. This is my opinion. Call me unicorn, call me crazy, you know, but I do think that the best way to fight these stigmas and these beauty standards and stupid racist standards, really, it's investing in success by investing in talent. And the dancers who belong to a different ethnical group, the dancers who have a darker skin or who have a body or a face that doesn't fit the mold, guys, listen. Become the best dancer you can become. Kick everybody's ass. Be so good they cannot ignore you. That is the only real weapon you have to fight this limiting way of treating dancers and hiring dancers. Okay, you really have to work harder than everybody else. It is true, but so what? Work harder. Okay, and the dancers, me, I'm including myself, must uplift, empower, support, give confidence to their peers. I do not care if your skin is green, is black, is white, is pink, skinny, big, small, long, pink. I don't care. Blue. I want to be surrounded by talented dancers who are kind, professional, supportive of each other, people that I'm proud of, dancers that I'm proud of. I really don't care how you look. None of us should care about that. Okay, that is my position. All right. I love Mona Said, says Maureen. Yes, who doesn't love Mona Said, right? Because she's so good, very, very talented. But she is a story, an example of how a darker skin can harm you and limit you. Okay, I know this story very well, so it's something that I can speak with property of. Okay, what you say really resonates. Talent is so important. Yes, Maureen. And sometimes it's all you've got to grab on. Okay, it's all you've got to grab on. If you feel like you are in disadvantage in relation to other dancers, either because of your body shape, because of your age, I don't know, whatever. Okay, grab yourself to the value that you ought to deliver, which is talent. You must work to be the best dancer in the room. Okay, that is your most powerful tool. All right, now, which cosmetic surgery procedures did you have to do in order to succeed in your dance career? La 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 la. Okay, this is a funny question. And even today, I am asked this question by students, okay, which I always find very amusing. Joana, did you fix your boobs? Joana, did you do something to your face? Joana, did you put new mouth? Joana, did you do this? Okay, so let me get this straight, okay? I am not against and I am not pro cosmetic surgery, the same way I'm not against and pro anything you might like to do with your body. I've never done it with my body because I do not want to do it. As I've already shared with you, I was asked to do it, okay? I was told that I should do it in order to be successful many times, not one, not two times, many times, okay? Mostly in Lebanon and Egypt, okay? My decision was always no, thank you. And I don't feel I need to justify why not, okay? Once again, I think it is a very personal question. Everyone should feel, does it make sense for me? Yes or not? And I don't think we should shame other dancers for doing it or not doing it. I don't like shaming. I don't see the point. Okay? It's their body. Let them do whatever they want with it. Now, if you were my best friend or my sister or a close student of mine, and you came to me and you told me, Joana, what do you think? Should I get plastic surgery? Maybe augment my breasts or put a little more volume in my thighs, or I don't know, have Botox or have whatever procedure people do. What do you think? Should I do it? Does it make a difference? If you were an intimate friend, someone I really cared about, I would tell you two things. First of all, in the end of the day, it's your body you decide. Nobody can decide for you. Nobody can decide. Nobody can decide for you. Sorry for my poor English. I'm tired today, guys. I'm saying some mistakes in English. When I'm tired, my English skills go woo down. So first I would tell that friend, it's your body, it's your call, okay? Nobody should decide for you. Now, I personally would not do it. Why? Why not? First of all, because I don't think it's healthy. Not physically, not mentally, not emotionally, not spiritually. I don't think it's a healthy thing to add or remove something that was born naturally with your body. Okay, I don't think it's good for your head. I actually think it messes with your head. And then again, I'm talking from observation, because I've met many dancers who had gone through plastic surgery, and I see the effects it has on them. It's not pretty, okay? Second, because there is an interesting road in self-acceptance that I think Egyptian dance allows. And when you abide by the rules and you tell the world, okay, I'm not good enough, you want me to change in order to be accepted, okay, I will change in order to be accepted. I will put new boobs or new ass or new whatever, you know, so that you like me, so that I'm acceptable, so that I'm cool, so that I'm part of the club. When you say yes to that, you are telling yourself you are not good enough as you are. I know a lot of dancers will not like this, okay? They're gonna hate me for this, but I don't care. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I think, okay? So when you say yes to that, you are saying no to yourself, okay? Last but not least, it starts with breasts, or it starts with lifters or fillers or Botox or whatever people do, okay? And then what? And then what? Time goes by, your body changes, you grow older. Are you gonna do plastic surgery forever? Are you gonna invest your money, your time, your energy on plastic surgery? Really? I don't know. Then again, it's a very personal thing. I would rather spend my money in training, in a trip, in becoming a better dancer, a better teacher, a better businesswoman, a better entrepreneur, a better person, educating myself, having fun, living better. I would rather put my resources in those areas than spending my time, my money, my energy, my health on something that is basically telling me the way you are is not acceptable, it's not good enough. You have to fit a mold. Okay? Last but not least, dancers get the illusion that if they are operated, if they have cosmetic surgery, or if they fit a certain standard, they will be successful. That becomes the focus. That becomes the focus. If I do the right thing and if I have the right look, I will be successful. And that is also not true. And once again, let me go back to the beginning of this Juju live session. What did I tell you? One thing is being known, being famous. Another thing is being respected. And when we talk about a dance legacy, we talk about respect. Think about the dances that you truly respect. Those are the icons, those are the references, those are the ones who remain in the history of Egyptian dance. Those are the ones who change us, the ones who are our horizons, our directions, our references, our inspirations. It's not the ones with the big boobs, or plastic nose, or plastic mouth, or filler here or filler that. They're not the ones who shape us and the generations that will come. So investing in yourself, in self-acceptance, in health, in fitness, as you should as a professional dancer, investing in your dance, in your talent, in your professional skills, I do believe it's a worthier investment than cosmetic surgery and all that jazz. Okay? Now, I have changed one thing about me. I have changed the color of my hair several times. But that was not because people told me to. It's because I get tired of seeing the same color every time. So I had my hair pitch black for a while, very hard to maintain because I'm a natural blonde. So can you imagine? Pitch black. I had to paint it all the time to maintain it, and I say to hell with that. I'm not gonna keep up with it because I don't have time to go to the to the coiffeur every week. I've had it red. I've had it different shades of not gray, different shades of brown. I've had it blonder, darker, but that's because I like to change and I like to see a refreshed look on my face. It's not because people necessarily told me you have to do that. Okay. So again, I have not done any plastic surgery or any cosmetic procedure. Okay. And when I say this, people don't believe me, which is very complimentary for me, I must add. But if I tell you this, maybe you will hate me. I hope you don't, but it is the truth. Okay. I haven't. Once again, everyone who decides to go for it, it's their right. And I don't think we should shame each other for it. Okay. Support each other's choices so that they will support your choices. That's my position on it. Okay. Now, can I be an Oriental dancer if I don't look like one? If my body and face don't correspond to the standard that's expected in this field? Okay. So I never understood this question. How does an Oriental look like exactly? Do you know it? If you know it, drop a comment in the live chat. Let me see if somebody knows, because I'm curious, you know. Of course, I'm exaggerating a little bit. And if we talk about Egypt, for instance, we are expected to be very feminine and voluptuous. And by the way, now it's changing, okay? The beauty standards in Egypt are changing now as well. So dancers are getting skinnier, more and more plastic, more and more European looking. Everything is changing. But usually you would associate an Oriental dancer to a voluptuous figure, right? Now, is that an obligation? Is that the image you should go for? What if you don't look like that? You cannot be an Oriental dancer? That sounds ridiculous to me. I don't know. That sounds really silly to me. So it is important, guys, to stand up for yourself, especially if you don't look the way most professional Oriental dancers look like. Okay, everybody is beautiful in their own way. Everybody is interesting and unique in their own way. And instead of trying to emulate and follow and copy and try to look like everybody else, why don't you say, okay, what kind of dancer do I want to become and how do I look? What is my look in Oriental dance? How do I want to look? Coming from a place of self acceptance, you know, because we don't have to look all the same. We don't have to be all the same. Then again, variety is beautiful, uniqueness is beautiful, and the dancer should dance. A dancer should not be a model or a picture or a doll. Okay. Yara says beautiful words of how to uplift our talented sisters and be against the industry. Absolutely, absolutely. Because very often, guys, what happens is that dancers criticize the bodies of other dancers. I don't know how to tell you how nauseated that makes me feel. Because it's bad enough that you're not hired because you don't correspond to a specific image. It's bad enough. But when other dancers criticize and shame the body of other dancers, I don't know what to tell you. If I go there, I have to be rude, and I don't want to be rude. Okay, it brings nausea to my body. It makes me physically sick. Okay, so women should be the first to tell another woman, you have the right to look whatever you want. It's your body, and I respect your choices, as I hope you will respect mine. Okay, and in the end of the day, support people for their talent, their creativity, the quality of the dance they bring to the table. Who cares if they are tall, short, black, white, pink, green, skinny, large? Who the hell cares? If your focus is on those things, you are not a lover of Egyptian dance. I'm sorry to tell you this. If you focus on how does she look, let me check how does she look, bitches. If that's your focus, I am sorry. I am sorry, but you are not an Egyptian dance lover, because when you love the dance, if you love it, you focus on the dance. You look at the woman dancing and you think, wow, woo, that's a dancer. Or you look at a man, because men also dance, by the way. Huh? I'm talking about women because most of us are women, but there are also men in our field. So it is important also to look at ourselves, each one of us, and see how do we react to each other's bodies, and what are the expectations we have for each other. Do we criticize the bodies of other women? Okay. And if the answer is yet, rethink your attitude. If you want to be respected, and if you want your body to be respected and accepted for what it is, start by accepting the bodies of other women and the choices they have made for their bodies. Okay. It's their bodies, it's their choice. Last but not least, what about aging in Egyptian dance? How do we do it right? Okay, this is connected to the question that Tamara also shared with me, right? And it's one of my favorite themes because I love Egyptian dance. I've been doing it for more than 20 years. Always, 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 woo, giving it at the highest level. And I have no intention of stopping anytime soon, which then again annoys a lot of people because they think she should be gone by now. That Joana Saahirah, she annoys the hell out of me. Woo! I know it. I love you. Mwah. So I imagine myself dancing for a long, long time. Okay, even if I don't need it anymore. I mean, if I don't need to work anymore, I would still dance. I would still teach. I would still perform. Because I love it. It's who I am, right? So it's not that I think about aging so much, but I do. I do at a certain level, because when you think about, I want to dance well into my 70s, 80s, 90s, you have to think about aging, right? Also, I had the privilege of studying and working with Mahmoud Reda, as most of you know. And when I met him, he was in his late 70s, in the beginning of his 80s, and he was a life force. I was working with him every day, and I saw him coming into his studio full of energy, with the problem in one knee. He was complaining about one knee, can you imagine? Because one knee was hurting him. Of course, not moving with the agility and the efficiency of a younger dancer, naturally, but he was choreographing, he was teaching, he was traveling, he was doing a lot of things. Okay, so I kind of became a professional dancer watching Mahmoud as an older man in an age where most people are in retirement, creating and moving and making it happen. So I have a very good example, a great mentor, a great friend that showed me you can have longevity in your career as a dancer. Now, of course, the same way society has prejudices and taboos around specific body types, specific colors of your skin, it also has prejudices and taboos around age. All right. I often tell this story because I find it so powerful. And it is a true story, then again. So I think that true stories are particularly impactful. In one competition where I was judging in Cyprus, there was a dancer, older dancer. I don't know how old, maybe in her 50s, 60s, something like that. And she was clearly the best dancer in the competition. And when I mean clearly, it's like no bloody doubt, okay? And as a judge, my job is to judge and to evaluate the best possible dancer. I'm gonna give number one to number one. I'm not evaluating youth. I'm not evaluating external beauty or the best bedla. I'm evaluating dancers. So I don't care if you are 100 years old, or if you are 5, or if you are 50 or 30 or 20. As a judge in a dance competition, I want the best to win, period. Okay? But the rest of the jurors did not agree with me. So I was convinced, I was sure this lady was going to win, because then again, it was obvious she was far superior in talent, in technique, present, everything. Far superior to the other dancers. But in the end, I was the only one who gave her the maximum punctuation. The other juries told me openly she's older. She's not going to dance for much longer. The other ones are younger. They're going to dance. They have more time to dance. So we prefer to ignore that she's the best because she's older. And we gave better punctuation to the younger dancers. I felt like I usually feel, which is an alien. You know, I said, really? But she's the best. You just told me she's the best. You agree with me. She's the best. What the hell? You know, yeah, but she's older. My brain goes into a pretzel and I have difficulty understanding because this is not how I operate. Okay. So my position in relation to aging is very simple. Okay. Point one, age gives you the opportunity to become better and better and better. Okay, what do I mean by this? I am a better dancer and teacher and choreographer and author and lecturer than I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago. I am better now, and I have every intention in becoming better and better and better and better. So one thing that happens when you age wisely is that you accumulate experience and you learn and evolve from experience. There is a difference between becoming older and evolving. Okay, as I usually say, all of us become older unless you die young. Okay, but if you do not die young, you're gonna grow older, but you're not necessarily gonna grow up. Okay, growing older is not optional. Evolving, growing up is totally optional. So aging as an Oriental dancer is a great opportunity to become better and better and better and better at your game. Because, you know, not even in relation to other dancers. It's like you look at yourself and you say, you know what? I need to surprise myself. I have to look at what I'm doing now and say, wow, what the hell is this? I love this. Of so good you're becoming, okay? And in that way, as years go by, you become more and more powerful, more and more respected, more and more professional, talented, expressive, unique, bright. But that is if you see the passing of time and experience as opportunities to learn. And most of us don't see them that way, okay? Another thing is, once again, we have to, I believe, adapt to the changes that our bodies go through. We have to adapt to the changes our energy and our ways of life and mentality and goals go through. We have to adapt to the passing of the time and evolve and allow our dance to evolve and allow the way we present ourselves to evolve with time. Okay, I do not present myself on stage today as I presented myself 20 years ago. It makes no sense. And it's not because I am older than I was 20 years ago, it's because I am a different person. So think in terms of how am I evolving and not so much in terms of how am I growing older, okay? Now, once again, if we are talking about professional dancers and you are competing for the same job, okay, a younger dancer in principle will have an advantage over an older dancer unless the one who hires wants you in particular. And the only way to make that person want you in particular is to be, let's go back to the best dancer in the room, is to be the best dancer in the room. When you are the best, people come for you. Have I made myself clear? It doesn't matter if you have a dancer 20 years younger by your side. You can, it's fine. But if you are the best dancer in the room, if your work is still valid, if your body is still functioning independently of how it looks, my own experience is you get the job. Most of the time, you get the job. Okay? So this is my answer. It takes a lot of self-confidence. It takes a lot of wisdom. It takes a lot of maturity to age as a professional dancer, I believe. Once again, it is important to work on your craft, work on becoming better with time so that time becomes an asset instead of a problem. This is my input around this subject. Now, before I close the session, let me see what you have. Hi, Mohammed. Yara says, I have to leave here soon, but when you have the chance, when in Egyptian dance do you find and why, in your opinion, the image of dance has shifted to as common as it is now? Was it an outside influence, media, societal, social media demand, or something else? Okay, Yara is referring to this shift in beauty standards in Egypt. It is shifting. I'm not sure why it's shifting. I think it may have to do with a lot of foreign dancers going to Egypt, but then again, that has happened for a while. I'm one of them, right? I went to Egypt and I did not become a doll. I did not become any kind of doll. I don't know. I do think that it has to do with perhaps social media, yes, and influencers and Instagrammers and all sorts of aesthetic standards that get mixed. Because Egypt is not impermeable to the outside world. Egypt is changing, music is changing, dance is changing. It's not only the way dancers are supposed to look. Okay, everything is changing. You know, you see many changes in Egyptian dance, even in Egypt. Faster moves, more aggressive, more masculine, more competitive, drier, soulless. There is so much going on that is connected to superficiality, to a plastic image, almost like an android image of dancers. All right. I don't know exactly when that started. I know it's happening, and each one of us has the power to counteract it by being our unique selves. Okay. Star, hello. Star says, we live Egyptian dance every day. It is a lifestyle and I couldn't live without it. I need the dance as much as I need to breathe. Beautiful, Star. Thank you for sharing. Guys, this is what I had prepared for you. These are the questions I had saved because I found them particularly important. I hope they helped. Okay. If they did, drop a comment in the comments section below this video. Let me know what exactly in this Juju live session rang a bell to you, what makes sense, what it doesn't make sense, and always feel welcome to share your questions with me and your experiences because I always like to hear about it. Okay, last but not least, check the links I'm going to share either in the description box below this video or in the comments if you're watching this at my Facebook account. Okay, so I'm gonna share the official website, Joana Saahirah's World website. I'm also gonna share the link to our free and fabulous newsletter in case you want to join us. You're gonna have all those juicy links either in the comments or in the description box if you're watching this video, this replay in my YouTube channel. It is bye-bye for now. Stay strong, stay loving, and treat other dancers the way you wish to be treated. Let's put it that way, huh? Nice way to close it. Love you guys. A big, sweet, loving kiss. Mwah.